Okay, so on this week's tutorials on knitted out designs, we are working on Blue Skies, which is also a neck warmer. I went kind of crazy with lots of cowls, and this one is quite interesting because it's worked with double strands, and it has lots of cool holes in it. And it's worked with big needles and light yarn, so you have a cool effect, and it's a pretty nice and quite light neck warmer. It's not too bulky and too, so it's a nice piece to work on, like a chilly spring day, and it's beautiful. So this pattern is available for purchase and download on my website, knittedout.com. Again, the link for that pattern is on the video description, so just check that out. So go ahead, get your pattern on the website, and come back and we'll start the tutorial. Okay, so I have my yarn, and I have my needle, and I have my stitch marker, which is all I need for now. I am working here with 2 strands of the same yarn, and I'm just getting like the strand from inside and from the outside, the 2 ends, right? On that sample there, I worked with 2 different skeins of yarn. You can choose if you want to work with 2 colors or 1 color. If you have only 1 color, you can always get both ends and work from that. So we'll begin with a slip knot. So you pretty much just hold as if they were 1 strand like that, and just normally cast on like you were used to. If you need a slower version of the long tail cast on method, I will also give you a link on the video description, and you can just check that. So cast on the number of stitches that your pattern tells you to, and come back so we can join the stitches in the round. So I placed my stitch marker here so I know where the beginning of my round is, because once you join the stitches, if you don't have a marker, you won't know where the beginning is. So according to the pattern, it's quite simple. So it's quite simple. You will start with knit together. So because you have 2 strands here, just make sure you understand that those 2 here, it's actually 1 stitch. You count those two strands here as 1 stitch. So 1 stitch, 2 stitches, and we're knitting together. And it shouldn't be that tight. Make sure you cast on not as tight as I did. So the pattern is knit together, and then yarn over. You just bring the yarn forward, and you knit together again. And you are going to do that around. yarn forward, and knit two together. So yarn over, it's pretty much yarn over, it's an increase, and knit two together, it's a decrease. So you're not changing the number of stitches in your pattern. You're just, with the yarn over, making those holes in your work, and you're knitting two together as a compensation of that increase. So you were working that around, and we work the second round together. Okay, so I finished my first round here, and on the second round we are just going to knit around. And you're gonna come across with those yarn overs, just knit them the same way you would knit any other stitch. And again, just remember that because you have two strands of yarn here, like, don't come in between them, just knit them both as if one, and just knit around and come back for that third round. That pattern has 4 rounds in total. All right, so I finished round 2. You can start to see a little bit of the pattern here, the holes, and it's already showing. So round 3 will begin with yarn over. So bring your yarn over and then you knit two together. So you pretty much invert that round 1. Round 1 we begin with knit two together. Round 3 we begin with yarn over, and pretty much continue that yarn over, knit two together. What you are doing here is just, you, instead of aligning those holes, instead of them just staying like one on top of the other, you were kind of like, you know, just kind of switching them around their place. So you have a nicer effect once you have your piece finished. So it's not too boring. So yarn over and knit two together around. And come back for the 4th and last round. Okay, so finally, last round, and as round 2, you will just knit around, and then that's kind of